Muskegon, get ready. The 2025 City of Muskegon Election Forum is happening Monday, August 4th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. aboard the historic USS LST 393 Veterans Museum, right in downtown Muskegon. Join us live as candidates for City Commissioner and Mayor present their vision for the future of our community. Mayoral Segment kicks off at 6 p.m., followed by the City Commissioner segment at 7. We're broadcasting live on radio and across all our social media platforms. Moderated by attorney Brandon Davis and presented in partnership with the Muskegon Young Black Professionals. That's Monday, August 4th at the USS LST 393 Veterans Museum, 560 Mart St, Muskegon. Don't miss your chance to hear directly from the candidates who want to lead Muskegon forward. Be informed, be engaged, be there.
Welcome to Drive at 5 PA here, Big Rob here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. The first Friday all over the world.
First Friday of the month of August.
Yes, so no matter where you at in this beautiful world, they're celebrating First Friday. Whether you're in
Friday.
Mombasa, Kenya, Zanzibar, Accra, Ghana, London, England, Paris, France, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Some of them might
Los
be
Angeles, California, or in a beautiful city of Muskegon Heights. It's still First Friday.
Ain't some of them 8 hours ahead of us?
They still celebrating, bro. The Ghana, they not going home till 5 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
All right. So our guest today, beautiful guest, wonderful man of God, a man of leader.
Remember, get his titles right.
I'll
first.
let you do the title, bro.
Okay.
He got plenty of titles. I'll let you do the title.
Okay, we got Reverend
Doctor.
Brand. Is doctor too?
Well, he got a doctor's degree in law, bro.
Well, that comes at the end.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
let
let
me
me
start
start over.
5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Reverend Brandon Davis, Esquire.
Woo!
Or just Brandon.
Did I get it right, Brandon? Did I get it right?
Brandon. Yeah, that's right. But Brandon works.
Brandon, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing well. It's good to be with y'all fellas. How y'all doing?
Man, doing blacknificent. Congratulations on your newborn baby, man.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
Hey, it's great. It's amazing. At the same time, there's no sleep. I'm old this time. I keep making jokes. The first time I was super young, so it was different. This time I'm old. So
But you got help. You got a lot of help.
Yeah, we got some help. Yeah, my wife is holding it down, so it's been dope.
I know she has to be excited, right?
She is. She's loving every, moment of it. She's an amazing mom too. Like she just naturally jumped into the space. She's doing a great job.
Wow. Well, I know you have a very busy life, man. If you don't mind sharing before we get into election, tell Muskegon what you're doing in Grand Rapids, your title, and some of the stuff you've been able to do there.
Sure. Okay. So I've been working for the city of Grand Rapids since 2018. My title is the Managing Director of Equity and Accountability Services. So I lead two teams in Grand Rapids. One is the Office of Equity and Engagement. That department is designed to embed equity in all city operations across the city of Grand Rapids. So that means we touch every department throughout the organization. Um, and again, our goal is to make sure that we are leading with the city's equity value. And then I also lead the city's Office of Oversight and Public Accountability, which is a team that's designed to increase accountability and transparency in our public safety systems. So if there's a complaint regarding police in Grand Rapids, that's where our office comes in. We don't just limit our work to complaints. So we also do a lot of work around restorative justice, building the things that the criminal justice system has torn down. So I often talk about the fact that, the criminal justice system has not always been just, and that's by design. But we're committed to doing work that helps to really lead us towards justice, including free expungement programs for the people across Michigan. People can reach out to the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability. We'll help them get a free expungement. We also do some know your rights programming that's really designed to help people learn their rights and responsibilities, because a lot of times people think they know what the law is, but they don't actually know, right?
Right.
um and then in addition to that, we did some community informed training. That's when we work with community to say, hey, the police and every other department for the city is here to serve you, the residents of the city. So you should have a say in how we're trained. specifically as it relates to public safety department. So we partner with community members and say, help us design training that makes sense for our public safety departments. It's a program that we design and we're super excited about. So that's some of the work that we do.
Wow. And you've been doing this for how long in Grand Rapids?
So I started working in Grand Rapids in 2018, and the Office of Oversight and Public Accountability uh, became a thing in 2019, right? So I was the inaugural director then. And then last year I took on the equity office as well. So been trucking there for a while now.
Wow, man, amazing. I know you and you're making marks there, brother, doing good things. We're honored to have you in Muskegon. Now you've been preaching now for how long?
This is my 11th year preaching. So Sunday made 11 years, which is
Really?
crazy to me. Ah, man. And you could never have told me I was going to preach. I didn't care what nobody said. I wasn't going to happen. Hang it up. You know, I was happy in the choir stand. Like, y'all can keep that preaching stuff.
There's a lot of pressure on preachers, man.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And, it's a lot of pressure. I was a young dude, navigating life. So you're going to have your ups and downs, your falls, and you do that in front of people, right?
Right.
So all that is part of it. But also, I just didn't want to do it. Like, just wasn't interested. Like, no, let somebody else do it. The guy was like, no, Doc, you don't have to do it. So 11 years preaching now. Super grateful. God has graced us, and it's been dope.
Well, you are a great representation of the pulpit, man. And
Well, thank you, sir.
I know there's no perfect person. They expect preachers to be perfect, but
yes,
brother, when I see you, I see that role model individual that I want my kids and grandkids to look up to and be like.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and especially coming from such huge men that are so respected in the community. That means a lot to me.
Real talk, man. So election coming up next week, Tuesday. You did moderate one of our past events and done a great job. I think it's with the judges, right?
I think so. I can't remember which ones.
Yeah, the judges.
Oh yes, yep.
Primary.
Yes. I'm trying to remember which one this is funny. I'm trying to remember which ones I participated in, which one I moderated.
It's been several, right?
I've been on both sides of a,
right.
347 panel.
Right. So this of course this Monday is a city election, a mayor's race, city commissioner race. Most people don't really get engaged into these local elections like I think they should. Why do you think it's important to be engaged with the local election?
It's imperative to be involved in your local elections. Like, we talk a lot about what happens at the national level, and it's a lot that happens. And right now, it's a lot of crap that's happening, if I just tell the truth.
Yeah.
But we also need to be concerned about what's happening at the local level, because the truth is your local officials have the greatest impact on your everyday life. They're the ones who are making decisions about what roads are closed down, right? So when you're coming out your house, it's not the White House we need to be calling and say, I'm upset about what's happening on my street. It's our local elections. It's our local officials. But they're also the ones that have a lot to say about what's happening in our community, the community that our children are growing up in. So they make such an impact. And this is where we can really lift our voice and see the impact of what we're saying. There's millions and millions of people in our country. The number in our county or in our city is a lot lower. So there's a lot of impact that can be made there. And my thing is, let's be loud about what's happening at the national level. We need to, but we need to be just as loud and just as serious about what's happening at the local level.
Because truth be told, a lot of the stuff that you're doing in Grand Rapids, I'm sure it came from the local politicians, right?
Oh, for sure. Like, we have a council manager form of government. So, one of the good things about that structure is that we have professional staff that are in place to really do the day-to-day operations of the city, but you get policy direction from your city commissioners. So our staff and the city of Grand Rapids invests in the staff to really do the work. So our staff does that work. I have an amazing team that's, talking about programming every day and thinking, how can we make an impact in Grand Rapids and across West Michigan?
Okay.
Great, Ron.
What should we be looking for in a mayor's race? As a citizen, what should I look for for a good mayor?
Yeah, great question. I think, when we think about who we want to serve as mayor, you got to think about what your interests are individually and collectively. So the way I lead my life, of course, as a man, I want to make sure that my family is good. No question about that. And I'm always going to, look out for the interests of my family. But I'm also really interested in what happens in community, right? So when I'm thinking about a leader, I want a leader that's thinking about, the average family and what that family needs to be successful, but also the greater community. It's not just not a leader that's just thinking about the interests of certain people. Traditionally, we've had leaders who, they were interested in the people who had a lot of money. Money talks, money matters. And that's why members of community have often felt disenfranchised. That's why many of them have said they won't vote or don't show up because it doesn't matter, but it does matter. It does make a difference. You just have to have the right person there. So you want someone whose values align with your values politically. And I don't just mean, oh, I don't like this about this person, or I don't like that about this person. Personalities can, we all got personality traits that people might not like, but are they going to do the work, the business of the city in a way that you can stand back and say, I'm proud of what we're doing as a city. I'm proud of how we're moving forward, and I believe we're making a difference in the lives of people. If so, I think that's the type of candidate you should support.
Brendan, Rob sits on the Police Review Board, City of Muskegon, but I believe the Grand Rapids Police Review Board has a lot of teeth. Like they can hold their police accountable. If you don't mind, share how Grand Rapids Police Review Board has been like the model for the country.
It's so interesting that you say this because I'll be honest, PA, if you come to Grand Rapids, you may hear something different from some of the people there. And I think this is one of those topics that is just it's community. It has to be designed for the community that you're in. I'll tell you about the model in Grand Rapids, and I do think it's a good model in many ways. So Grand Rapids has a civilian appeals board. What that means is that um, when a complaint is filed with my office, for example, it is then investigated by the Internal Affairs Department of the police department, which is police policing police, right? A lot of people take issue with that, but that is the model across most of the country. It is common practice. Well, what happens in Grand Rapids is after Internal Affairs makes a decision on certain types of cases, like excessive force or um, a case of impartial policing involving, impartial policing or something like that, the person can then appeal the decision of internal affairs to the civilian appeals board. So our civilian appeals board is kind of like an appellate court. That's the easiest way to think about them. Think about the trial court, right? The circuit court as the internal affairs, and then the appellate court as the civilian appeals board. So when you bring a appeal to the civilian appeals board, what makes their power unique, and this is the biggest, largest power they have the authority to overturn a decision of internal affairs on the types of cases that they have jurisdiction over, which is
Wow.
a huge deal, right?
Wow.
Now, that's a huge power on paper, and I think it matters. It definitely matters because it's the city's last position on it. But police officers are still members of a collective bargaining union. As a result of that, they can grieve a decision of the city, which that civilian appeals board decision does become the decision of the city. They can take that through the grievance process with their union, and ultimately, an arbitrator could look at that, and the arbitrator could reverse the civilian appeals board, right? So I think in practice, it's a strong power. It's a power that most boards across the country would love to have, but it's not a perfect power because we still do have that grievance process where that can be overturned.
Wow, man, we need to be talking to whoever running for office. Like, we need a commitment from Muskegon that they would try to emulate what is going on in Grand Rapids. Because I hear the
Mm.
complaints from Big Rob. They don't. They get some of the stuff enacted that they don't. It's
Yeah,
just a
we
piece
get
of paper.
Yeah.
it's mostly black ink that
I
we
believe
get.
that. Yeah, yep. And at in Grand Rapids, the civilian appeals board is actually a part of the collective bargaining agreement, right? So that's something that was negotiated in. There was actually a Merck decision, and I can't think of what the acronym stands for, but there was a decision recently by an administrative body related to civilian appeals board type stuff, police review boards, and the type of authority they can have and what has to be bargained and what doesn't. That's something that would likely be helpful for the city of Muskegon to consider.
So when they doing negotiation for these contracts, you put it in the contracts.
That is one way of navigating it. So there are some things that are mandatory subjects of bargaining. Um, Some parts of the civilian appeal board process are mandatory subjects of bargaining. There are other parts that are not mandatory subjects of bargaining. The thing about bargaining is once you start bargaining about something, generally you have to keep bargaining about it. So, my advice is to navigate what needs to be bargained that. And the parts that don't need to be bargained and it can be handled administratively, handle them administratively.
So can these officers be called in to these review boards? Like, can they be called in and answer questions?
It can happen, but that is something that would have to be bargained. So, having an officer be required to appear before a review board would have to be bargained. For example, in Grand Rapids, that's not how that works. So, officers are not required to appear. Now, representatives from the police department, internal affairs, and training unit come to talk about the case and explain their findings in the case to the review board or the appeals board for us. But the actual officers involved don't have to appear.
Wow. What would you like to see discussed on Monday?
I think there's a lot to talk about. I really want to understand the mayoral candidate's vision for Muskegon, right? What does that look like? And we're standing in a time where I think it's important for people to stand on business. We have a federal government that is anti-DEI, that is literally trying to take us back 40, 50, 60 years in the history of this country, and just be more overt with discriminatory practices. We need to know that if this mayor, where the mayor stands on that. The mayoral candidates stand on that. We need to know, are you willing to stand up against the federal government and fight for Muskegon? Or will you bow, right? Will you bow and just do what they're doing? Will you just move how they're moving? And that's a complicated question because there are fiscal complications that come along with that. So it's important that we talk to the mayoral candidates and really hear where they stand and how much they've thought about it.
Wow. Rob, anything?
No, I think he's doing a great job, and I won't be there this time, but I look forward to hearing about what our mayoral candidates where they stand in Muskegon, because like you said, there's a lot that we're fighting right now. So
yeah, it's
for sure.
Key very, very important election. But Brandon, thank you. And the Young Black Professionals, if you don't mind, tell Muskegon who are the Young Black Professionals, and I think are you one of the founders?
Well, I was on the founding board.
Okay.
But y'all know we got to give it up for Madam Presidente, Jocelyn Hines.
Yes, Sister Hines, Missionary Hines, no joke.
Of Muskegon Young Black Professionals. She's holding it down. She is such an amazing person doing great work across Muskegon County. She deserves this shout out and so much more. But Muskegon Young Black Professionals was founded by Jocelyn Hines. We really work to be that hub for young professionals, Black young professionals in Muskegon County. The truth is, many of us were, we were in the county, but there wasn't a place for us to connect socially on a professional level and really navigate through those professional challenges that exist for young Black professionals. It's a different landscape for us. And it's different than it was for our parents and generations that came before us who are navigating new things, technology, all those types of things in different ways. So NYBP does social events and also professional development events, as well as, training and opportunity for community members to come together. You can find out more about us by going to our Facebook page. Just search for Muskegon Young Black Professionals. We would love for you to come out and be a part of our meetings and events. But there's so many people that serve on our board. Talking about shout out to some of them. I hope I don't miss a lot of names. But we have Kiera, who serves on our board. Nicole Day serves on our board. Darius Mitchell serves on our board. Kylie serves on our board. Jawan serves on our board. And I am Legacy Kennan serves on our board. Colette serves on our board. I hope I got everybody. I think I got everybody. I start calling names, right? That's where you mess up. But we have an amazing team doing great work, and we love for you to be a part of it. So
how
thank you
can
all
people
for
join? How do they join?
So yeah, if you're interested in coming out to participate with us, you just go to our Facebook page, and that's where all of our information really is. But if you're interested in serving on our board, ever so often we have applications that come out when there's an opening on our board. You could just let one of us know that you're interested, and when the time comes, we'll make sure you get the information you need.
All right, thank you so much, Attorney Brandon Davis, for making our time after getting our work, after going home.
Then got to deal with a newborn baby.
I got a honey-do list too.
Oh, always. I
appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate y'all.
so much.
Thank y'all for
man.
everything you do in community. Thank you for being really those people, the trailblazers who've gone before us to create the space for us to do this. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you. And
All
take
right.
me to Africa.
Hey, we ready, brother.
I'm
We
just saying,
ready.
let's
I
go.
can see you on the beach laying back.
I see it. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it.
All right, good brother. Talk to you later.
All right, have a good day.
Salute, Brandon.
All right.